Hi, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Hitstreak. Check it out. I got to give a big shout out to my show sponsor, my friends over at AVLX. I also have to give a big shout out to Charles Henry and Ace Young, the amazing performers and producers of the music behind the show, as well as the amazing people that make up the Hit Lab creative team, who are the producers of the show. Folks, I have a favor to ask. If you like what you hear, and I know you do, click that subscribe button to make sure you get alerted when new episodes are dropped. Thanks for tuning in.
The real success stories told by the people who live them.
We're going to have some guests on this show that everybody knows, and we're going to have guests on this show that nobody knows yet.
One by one, Nick Hyder is adding hits to the hit streak.
Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of The Hit Streak. I am your man, Nick Hyder, and today, joining me all the way from Scottsdale, Arizona, he's a true superhero. He just doesn't wear the cape, but he is the co-founder with his wife, Jacqueline, of the Elliott Group. With me, joining me today is the man, the myth, the legend, Andy Elliott. Andy, thanks for hanging with me today, baby.
Hey, I love it. Hey, by the way, appreciate everybody watching this or listening to this, wherever you are. And by the way, if you really want to grow today, which is probably why you're watching the podcast, do me a favor, get a pen, get a piece of paper. And if you don't have one, watch it again later, because there's going to be some gold nuggets today that are going to change your life. Just remember that.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
For real. The heat's about to come. So get ready.
So Andy, just off topic, how many times have you already worked out today? I already know before everybody else got up, you had whooped today's ass. True or false?
Yes, no, every single morning. I mean, by the way, if you want to know about real tactics and strategies, how to have a great life, how to go to the next level, how to do whatever it is that you're going to do in life at a level where most people won't do it, I get up and exercise. So every morning at 5 a.m., we get up, whether we go to bed at 2 a.m., or whether we go to bed at 8 p.m. at night. It don't matter.
Yeah. We
get up at 5 a.m. It's a part of our discipline. It's a part of our life. And we've learned that because we're in the sales space. So truly everybody is, whether they think they are or not, but we're in the sales training space. So being in a great mood, staying in a great state, and staying fired up is extremely important to us. So working out has always helped us create that. So it's a non-negotiable in our life. So at one time, and by the way, if you do it right, all you need is one. Just smash it, clang and bang, whether it's a high intense workout or whatever. But I'm 42 years old, 8-pack lean. My wife's in the best shape of her life. We weren't always in this shape. And this wouldn't have happened if we wouldn't have made it a non-negotiable. So write that down. What are your non-negotiables? And you go back into fitness, but fitness can't be like, I want to get in shape. Okay. Mr. I don't feel like it, never got in shape. All right. So I'm just going to tell you, I don't care how you feel, and you still go, it's a non-negotiable. So if you're listening, consciously write down non-negotiable.
That's
it
right.
needs to be fitness.
That's right. Well, Andy, I meant it when I said a superhero that just doesn't wear a cape, because brother, I've been keeping up with you for quite some time. You guys are all over the map in all the right places at all the right times. It's absolutely incredible, man. And it's cool. I'm in business with my wife as well, and because I wanted to spend as much time with her as I can, and I like to work, and I'm driven, right? So I'm able to do the same thing. People are blown away by that we can do that. And I'm sure you get asked about it a lot, right?
Yeah. So, and by the way, look, hey, I want to say this. So if you've got somebody that's important to you in your life, whether it's a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, if you're going to stay with this person, I want you to do this. Those that grow together, stay together. And in the beginning, your podcast, you said, hey, we're here another blessed day. Those that pray together, stay together. And I won't get into the faith part, but we run strong in faith together. We run strong in fitness together. We run strong in growing together. So I'm going to tell you this, those that grow together, stay together. Every conference I've ever attended in my entire life, no matter what I was going to learn, my wife went with me. Why? Because though I can't come up to here and leave her down here, okay? And I feel like a lot of people in the entrepreneur space, that's what they do. Yeah. Got a lot of guys or women, they go out and they're wanting to do the training, right? They're wanting to level up, they're wanting to get better. But guess what? When you leave your other half at home, man, you've got to make sacrifices. Someone else has got to watch the kids. She's got to go or he's got to go, because you guys got to grow together, because you guys together, it's you and her against the world.
Absolutely.
It truly is at the end of the day. So I'm just telling you, if you're watching this, if you're not training with your partner, or if you're not staying with your partner and you're not doing business with them, you got to find ways to do everything together so you guys can continue to dream together and grow together. So yeah, so I love it. I recommend everybody do it. If you can't work together, then dream together, stay together, push together, do everything together. You're going to die with this person, right? Make it your best friend. Whatever you put into something is what you're going to get out of it.
That's right.
So we put a lot into our marriage and our business and everything, but it's always together, just like you and your wife.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, it's, in my past, the reason that my wife and I met in the workspace, we've always kind of done it, but anytime she grows, she's very driven just like I am. If we're not growing together, we're growing apart.
That's it, man. Hey, somebody asked me a long time ago, they said, hey, how did you make your wife so strong? I said, dude, listen, if I wouldn't have married her, she'd have married somebody else and she'd have still been successful.
That's right.
Okay. She's a driver. Yeah. She's a grinder. She wants to win. Okay. She don't want to lose. Right. Now I fuel that fire and I push her and I inspire her. But at the end of the day, she, like I said, we train together. I want her to want it just like I want it. You know why a lot of people don't make it? I mean, truly, because they go home and then they complain. They say, well, my wife really doesn't want that. Well, when have you invited her to be a part of it?
That's right.
Never.
That's right.
She would love to be invited. And even if she told you no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Inside, she does want to do it. She just doesn't know how it works. Take her with you. 1 or 2 events later, guess what happens? Boom, you and her are going through the roof and everything in your life changes, man.
That's
what I'm saying? Whatever you want, you can have. So I'm just telling you, I think it's really important. The foundation of everybody making it in life is them having a good family life, home, relationship, or even in the business like we do.
That's right. That's right.
So if you take care of your family.
So you guys founded the Elliott Group in 2011, and since that time, you guys, I've got some notes here that you currently train over 325,000 salespeople and over 5,000 dealerships worldwide, spread out over across 127 different countries. Incredible, bro.
Yeah. So what's incredible is what someone can do when they decide to go all in. Mm-hmm. If anybody's listening to this right now, okay, the reason why you haven't got what you wanted is because you haven't decided to go all in. It's that easy, okay? Look, if you'll listen to this podcast, we're going to tell you from A to Z. I'm going to make sure that they're aware of how to go get everything that they want. And number one, I'm going to say something, all right? When I started my business from 2011, and by the way, I'm going to tell you from experience, because anybody that gives advice should take their own advice. From 2011, when we started our business, until about 2018, I'm going to say the word dabble, D-A-B-B-L-E. We dabbled in winning. We were like, okay, we're doing enough to pay the bills. We're doing enough to pay payroll. We thought about building a sales team. That would be a cool idea, but that would cost us money. We wanted to do all these things, but we were afraid. Listen to me. Us being scared, the one thing that we needed to do the most was the one thing that we were scared to do. And it was go all in. And I think a lot of people are. And I'm going to tell you this. My life changed one day when my wife said, Andy, we need to figure out how to compress timeframes. What we're doing right now from 2011 to 2018 is we spent 7 years in our business now, and we should have been a lot farther by now. How many of you, 2 years ago would have expected to have been farther today than you are, and you're not? So what she said is that, look, we can't afford to look up in 2 years and not be where we want to go. Loser dialogue. Well, what if we do it and it doesn't work? That's loser dialogue.
Right.
Winner dialogue is, hey, we can't afford not to do it, so we're going to do it. And guess what? In 2 years, if we want our life to look different, guess what? Most people are going to have the same life next year that they had this year. Don't be most people.
Yeah.
We had to decide to change. So we started to compress timeframes. And this last 3 years, we've done more than most people could do in 3 lifetimes.
That's
right.
And
I'm going to tell you how. If you're listening, write down 2 words, timing, and write down speed. Okay, timing and speed. If you want to know how to bust up your competitors or smash anybody in any industry, look, it's real easy. How we got to train over 325,000 salespeople, how we kicked Grant Cardone out of the automotive space, which I don't only train automotive, I train every sector and every vertical, real estate, insurance, medical, solar, car sales. I don't care. We train it all. Look, if you got something to sell, we'll teach you how to sell and close it, okay? But we decided timing and speed. We said if there was ever a time with 8 billion people in the world, if there's ever a time to attack, it's got to be now. And number two, speed. How fast do we need to move? How fast if we're going to make this happen? So we decided to attack on both those. And by the way, I'm going to say this to everybody listening. It's never been easier to win. You know why? Most people have opted out of winning, which means they've opted into losing.
Ooh.
They won't do what it takes. They won't do what it takes. And I told you, okay, in the beginning, go all in. I'm going to tell you what to do. It's A to Z. Have some non-negotiables. Me and my wife set up 5 days a week. We decided to work 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, non-negotiable time, and go hard. We did it for 2 years. We decided to drop 4 videos on every platform that we could possibly put out there to build our brand, because we knew people needed to know who we are, what we do, how great we are at what we do, and where we're at. How do they find us?
That's right.
And we attacked.
Come on, baby.
And you know what happened? You look up and you say, my God, man, did that really just happen?
That's right.
And it did. And you know how it happened? Number one, you quit quitting. Once you look at your table right now in your life. Take quitting off the table. Once you take quitting off the table, you can't be beat. Okay. Now listen, how fast can you win? Well, that depends on how much you're going to put into this. Listen, sometimes my whole company, we just built a brand new building and a brand new facility. We were renting a space and we were getting some complaints, this and that. And I said, dude, screw this, man. We're going to go buy our own building, man.
There you go.
We bought a whole company and we had reinvested about 10 million into buying a huge 30,000, 40,000 square foot place, built out a compound.
It's beautiful.
Made it animal. We got our own gym. We got our own sales floor, got our own accounting. We got our own conference room that'll hold about 400 people for our events every month. If I need a 5,000 event, I'll go rent one. But for 400 people, 500, it's perfect.
That's awesome.
And you know what? I own it. And guess what? Our entire team, we stopped working for 1 month. We didn't hire a contractor. Our entire team, which don't know how to work construction, we put on belts, took our shirts off and went to work and we built that building.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to tell you something. Team culture, if you're watching this, you want to really build something special, I'm going to ask you a question. Would your team have helped you build your building?
It's a great question.
I'm going to share with you, building a sales team and building a culture, those are where the leaders are really winning. So we decided that, we wanted to be the leaders that we never had growing up. I mean, you've probably worked for a lot of people that taught you a lot of bad habits. It's really hard to find good leaders. There's lots of managers, but there's only a few leaders out there. So I believe that anybody that's watching this right now, whatever it is you want to do, guess what? Decide to have a delusional belief right now that you can have this done within 2 years. And by the way, I'm 42, you're 41. Imagine if I was 42 and I started over dead end on zero at this moment, I could say by the time I'm 44, I can have all this.
That's right.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You damn sure can. Are you willing to sacrifice? And guess what? Here's another deal. I want to say this to you. What about all the people that aren't going to believe in these people along the way? They're going to come out and say like, hey, that's stupid. Don't do this. People always ask, what do you do with your haters? Well, number one, you can't stop and throw rocks at every dog that's going to bark. Okay. Like we don't care about those people. By the way, we wouldn't be this far without these haters. Okay.
You got to have them.
Yeah, you got to have them. But I want to say this to you, right? How do you really win? Well, number one, if I'm training right now, Nick, and I'm working on having a better life, and you're like, hey, Andy, I don't think this is going to work, or you're thinking too big, or that's unrealistic. I'm going to explain to you how simple this is. I'm going to tell you how to straighten up your life right now. Number one, you take inventory of everybody in your life. And here's what I do. Hey, Nick, I appreciate you, but I'm not going to be in contact with you for 6 months. See ya. Boom. I block you on all accounts. I block your cell phone number, and we are no longer communicating for a half of a year. Now, listen, in a half a year, I'll be like, hey, Nick, what's up, man? How you doing? And if you're like, I can't believe you did that to me. Boom, you're gone for life. That's easy. Because guess what? You're not with me anyways. I have something like if I had a piece of paper, Nick, I'd tell you to write a circle on a piece of paper and write down the inner circle. And I always tell people, the people on the inner circle of your life, you can write their name down. And those are the people that believe in you. And they'll tell you the truth. Like, hey, Nick, listen, man, I think you're falling off a little bit. All right. You got all these big dreams, but guess what? At the end of the day, you're drinking on the weekends, man. You're getting soft. You're not working out hard. I see you and your family. You're working so hard, but you're not taking care of them. Get your stuff together. Don't be a one-dimensional man. You can have it all.
That's right.
Okay.
You can
prioritize your time a little better. I'm a good friend to you because I know that you've got more in you. But if I say, hey, Nick, listen, man, I think this business still has gone too far. I think listen, now what I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to destroy your dream, and it's yours. It's not mine. How can someone else destroy someone else's dream that they created?
That's right.
That doesn't even make sense. Right. So your inner circle, whoever doesn't have your back and doesn't believe in you, and they're not people you trust around your kids, and they're not with you on this journey.
That's right.
Get rid of them.
Listen
to me. It's just cold, hard truth. Those 3 words, cold, hard truth. If you want to win, you better learn how to handle it. You better learn how to tell other people the cold, hard truth too.
Well, winning's hard, just like losing is. Pick one, right? Pick one, do it. Right, pick one and pick a side and go. But like somebody asked me a question, because we talk about this a lot. I have some childhood friends that I love dearly that I don't get to spend time with anymore, or I choose not to because they're not going the same places that I am. Right? They have a different drive in life, different destination, and it's if everybody you hang out with makes 40 grand, I guarantee you that's what you're making. I guarantee you that's what you're making is 40K.
Yeah, that's it, man. And hey, and by the way, at the end of the day, if everybody you hang out with drinks all the time, you're going to drink all the time.
That's right.
And hey, if everybody you hang out with like talk shit on their wife, well, you're probably going to start talking shit on your wife. And people that you're around disrespect their other people, you're going to start disrespecting other people.
That's exactly why we had to get out. We had to get out of the bar business when we did, is because of who we were, the people that we were forced to be around all the time. And I love them all. I love them all. They're great people, but they weren't good for us.
They just can't be a part of your life anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Look, we're not better than anybody else. Look. And so everybody's clear here. People are either going to level you up or level you down.
Boom.
That's it. Okay. So if you look, I'm always trying to get in rooms with people that stretch me, that grow me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what I want. Okay. And by the way, you don't always have to be that person to be around me. You could be a person that's supportive, that's loving, that's kind, that's my boy, and you could be around me. You could be dead broke. I don't care about how much money you make. What I care about is, where's your heart? And do you have the growth mindset like me and my family have? I mean, when we're hanging out together, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Are we talking about our family? Are we talking about, future moves? Are we talking about being grateful? Or are we complaining and whining?
Yeah.
Okay. Because those people got to go, man. And I think a lot of people just need to take inventory on their life. Right. And truly and by the way, Brad Lee, we just got off a podcast with him, and Brad Lee, one of the things that I love.
That was a great one, by the way. That was fantastic.
Yeah, no, thanks, man. But I want to tell you something that he always says, hey, the best thing he ever did was quit. And I tell people to take quitting off the table, but I want to explain this to you. You quit the restaurant bar industry to start something else.
Yes, that's
so you
right.
didn't quit on your mission and your dream and your drive.
Yeah.
You quit in one vertical to go to another.
Yeah. Somebody told me one time, beginnings always hide themselves in ends.
Yeah, man. It's like that. So I'm telling you, if somebody's watching this, look, man, if it's bad for you, if it's bad for your family and it's not allowing you to grow, I'm not telling you to take quitting off the table like you have to stay there. I'm saying, hey, maybe it's time to start. I believe in new beginnings. Maybe it's time to start something else and go all in, because right now is the time. If there's ever been a time to win, I told you it's never been easier than right now.
That's right. You do have to go all in 100%. I love that quitting. That's awesome. I'm gonna borrow that from you.
People
from time
go back
to
to
time.
the starting line every day. It's like, could you imagine running a marathon, going to mile 10?
Yeah.
You're exhausted, and then literally turning around and going back. And I want to say something to you. Whether you're 20 years old and watching this, or you're 60, you got lots of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And by the way, it doesn't take a lot of time if you're fully committed. It doesn't. So I just want to say that anybody that's willing to go all in, well, they're the next person that's going to be telling the story, that's going to be on your podcast. That's going to be somebody we're looking up to, because everybody respects somebody that's got the courage, right? Which, as we talked about, there's a shortage of courage and a shortage of commitment. You got the courage to go attack their dreams and be willing to do whatever it takes. I sleep with my shoes on. I'm telling you, I am ready to go. And by the way, we've talked about being scared, having courage, to do something.
Yeah.
But I want to also explain something to you. If you're a successful person and you're watching this right now, I always hear people say, well, don't be scared. Don't be scared. I actually am very scared. You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared of all these great things that I've created in my life being taken away from me. So do you know why I'm always making the next move? Why I'm always 10 steps, 15 steps ahead of everyone around me? Because I'm scared to death that someone's going to figure it out. And here's what it is. Okay. It's live with the healthy paranoia that someone's coming to take it all away from you in the next 24 hours. And if you think that way, if you work that way, if you train your team that way, I have an unrecruitable team. You know what that means? That means I invest everything into my people because I believe in two words. It's called human capital. Okay. People are like, oh, advertising money to make you money. No, man, it's your people, man. It's your people. It's called human capital. Your people will make you more money than you know what to do with, and they'll give you a good quality of life. Okay. Work like someone's trying to take it all away from you.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to get everything you got. And guess what? Never get comfortable. The second you get comfortable and take your foot off the gas, someone's going to kick your ass.
That's right. Well, there's always somebody's looking to, if you're on top, you're by yourself usually, right? But somebody's trying to take you out. There's targets all over your back.
Yeah, and I want to say something. I believe this, okay? I'm an underdog, right? You know what that means? That means I would rather, instead of joining a Goliath, somebody doing very, very well, I would rather join an underdog group and then go take down the Goliaths.
That's right.
Okay. That's my style. That's my heart. That's my fire. So if anybody's watching this and you're an underdog, you've got everything that it takes. By the way, those that are capable for the highest threshold of pain, listen to me. If you're capable for the highest threshold of pain, that means you've gone through a lot of shit in your life.
Yeah.
You're capable for the most.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you're strong. Most people will break where you're like, this is nothing.
Yeah. Most people don't know where their breaking point actually is, you know, so they can push
That's why
it.
they're dangerous.
Yeah.
That's why an underdog is very dangerous. Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching this and they're like, you don't know what I've been through. Stop saying you don't know what I've been through and start turning that pain and turn it into passion. Go put it into a business somewhere. And next thing you know, you're changing tons of people's lives. You got a great life. And guess what? You made your new story, man. Your story's only, you know, what you're writing today. And by the way, yesterday's gone. Even if you won yesterday, it's gone.
That's right.
Okay. If you lost yesterday, it's gone. It's all matters is today. You know what I mean? And I just think I really say this, and I'll say this multiple times. There's never been a better time to go all in. Okay. I mean, with this COVID deal, man, a lot of people gotten lazy, man. Have you ever went and bought something? Just think about anybody right now. You ever went to the gas station, bought something at the store, went anywhere, and it just seems like everybody just doesn't even want to do their job. And they're barely even nice to you when you're spending money. It's like, what's happened?
It's killing me.
Yeah. So as you see this, it's like, dude, this is my time.
Yeah, it's killing me. Everybody's using it as an out to not be staffed or not have all their products, not have full menu. Like it blows my mind. I absolutely cannot stand it. Yes.
Yeah. Dude, they've gotten lazy. And by the way, at the end of the day, us as customers, we're literally like taking it in the butt.
Yes.
Customer service. And because what else do you do?
Yes, that's right.
I mean, what else do you do? So what if you showed up? You put on the wow factor, you went crazy in your business, made sure that your customer experience was through the roof. You out-cared everybody. Everybody, write down, out-cared.
Out-care.
Thank you. Everybody. Oh my God. In 2 years, everybody will want to buy everything they have off you or do business with your product or service for the rest of their life.
That's right. That's right.
Man, this is too easy.
It really is. And everybody is, all the things, the reasons that they come up with for not being where they want to be or whatever. You ask that question, like, every entrepreneur, every startup, they all ask themselves at some point in time. I did too. And they're like, what if this doesn't work out? What if I don't sell anything? What if I don't make enough money? And I always tell my guys too, I'm like, well, if you're going to ask that question, you got to balance it. You got to say, well, what if I make all the money? What if I help all the people?
Dialogue you got to get rid of.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't grow weeds in your brain. Listen to me. If anybody right now said, hey, I want to take one thing that I can go and take it to the bank and cash a big check for the rest of my life. Number one, it's mindset.
Yep.
Okay. Like I'm just telling you, dude, Yep. You can't take over the world if you can't take over your own damn mind.
The all great sales trainings pretty much start with the mindset. Yes.
Yeah, well, if it doesn't, you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I mean, because I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever seen somebody try to talk to you about something that didn't believe in what they're saying?
100%.
That's just a little bit silly. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, that's most of the world right now.
Yes.
Okay. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is your mindset, which is like, look, man, hey, am I the right person that's going to be able to get this done? Yes. Am I the right person that's going to be able to make this happen? Yes. Do I need anybody else to help me do this? Maybe, but can I believe I can get it done on my own? Sure, I can. And if you had all those things going in your favor, you've increased the odds and you're more than likely going to get what you want. It's called the law of attraction.
That's right.
And by the way, like it's like literally like that easy. But that's why when I say this, that people have no idea what they're capable of. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. This is the easiest thing. People don't love to learn. Mm-hmm. This is the biggest problem in the entire world right now is people don't love learning. They don't. They think they need to learn or I have to learn. If you would decide to fall in love with learning and educating yourself every day, I'm going to tell you something. Your body is built up. The more you use something, right? Use it or lose it. The more you use something, the stronger it gets. Oh. You know what I'm talking about? When I'm training and I'm learning something, you know what happens? I kick into another gear and my brain actually grows. And it's like, dude, we're learning. We're learning. And you know what happens? Now I'm addicted to it. Now I look at everybody. I study the way people walk, the way they talk. The world's your library. If you know what you're looking for, it'll give you what you're looking for. I study everything all day long. Yeah. And you know what? That's how we destroy everybody. I see the fakes. I see the realist of the realist. I see the people that are paying the price. Yes. Dreams come with the price. And then I see the people that are jaw jacking, saying they're after the dream, which ain't doing shit. They're sitting on their ass like a fisherman waiting for something to bite. Okay. They're not a hunter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you when I say this, the mindset though, okay? Me and my wife, we have the best marriage ever. My kids, man, we have the best parenting system ever. My team, you couldn't recruit them. If you gave them a $10 million more a month, they wouldn't leave. Yep. They're not after the money. Yeah. It's something special you can build, and every person can build it right now. But you've got to be the person that sets the example for everyone else first. And the way to do it is guard your mind. Okay. Guard your mind. Don't be around shitty people. Yeah. Okay. Like you said, surround yourself with great people. Listen to good. Look, what are you listening to? What are you reading? Well, not even reading. Well, that's a problem. Yes. You say, well, I don't like to read. I don't care what you like to do. You must do it. Okay. Everything you've ever wanted to know is in a book or a video somewhere. Yep. Okay. Someone knows. The question is, you're going to get off your ass and study these people all night. You literally, I'm telling you this, I've stayed up 10:30 at night. I'm exhausted. I've been up since 5 a.m. I know I got to get up for the gym the next morning. And guess what? I'll stay up till 3 a.m. studying. Yep. My wife says, baby, you got to go to bed. You're going to be exhausted tomorrow. You know what I tell her? Just like you said, hard, choose your life. You know what I'm saying? If you do what's hard, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy, your life will be hard. I said, baby, I'm going to be exhausted either way. That's right. Winning is exhausting. Losing is exhausting. 100%. Okay. Sitting on the couch not getting paid is exhausting. Yes, it is. Watching yourself want to be other people winning is exhausting. But guess what? The great life is exhausting. I'm going to say this, compressing time frames. Can you do what would take most people 20 years to do and do it in 2 years? Yes, you can. Get it done. You're going to have time to do what you want to do later. But right now, we got to take care of business. We got to audit everything out of our life that doesn't align with our dreams. And guess what? It's going to be 10 times harder than you thought it was. Man. And as long as you're willing to attack and do all that, and you're willing to recreate and reinvent yourself. When I say the word reinvent yourself every day, Nick, if I talk to you in 3 months and you talk the same way you do today, I don't respect you anymore. That's right. I need you to be sharper. I need you to be quicker, better, faster. I need you to be more educated. Yep. I need you to have some new language. Shit, Nick, I need a different word. I didn't hear from you a couple months ago. And that's what keeps me intrigued with you. Like, oh man, I like that. You know, every time I'm around him, it's like I get a little gold nugget or something. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I do for my team. That's what we do for our 325,000 salespeople, which at the end of this year will be 1 million. Why? Because we keep learning new language. If you know something that I don't know, I'm going to study you until I can figure out how to master it and do it better than you. Yep. That's right. Everybody can do this. It'd be like if you, it'd be like never getting out of, you go to 5th grade and that's where you stay. You never go to the next grade. You never level up, right? And most people stay there. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because 99% of the world is settling. What? And when you don't, there's going to be conflict. Why do you think we talk? So when you're a child, you start. First thing you do is you learn to like sit up and crawl and walk and run and all those things, and then you go to school for the first time, kindergarten, and then you reinvent yourself as a 1st grader, a 2nd grader, all the way through school, and then most people get their job, and then they just stop evolving. They stop recreating themselves or reinventing themselves to a next best version. Like, why do you think that truly is? Like, why? Like we as parents, we audit who our kids hang out with.
but we don't do it as adults, as you alluded to earlier, right? Like, why do we not do those things?
Well, it's real easy. So if I had a piece of paper, I'd write down 99%, and then I'd write down 1%. And it's real easy. The 1%ers do what the 99% don't do, which I'm going to explain this to you. I do this to my guys. I take a piece of paper, or I'll take a whiteboard, and I'll draw 100 dots. And I'll say, I need to explain this to you so you can clearly understand what your life will look like until the day they throw dirt on you and you die. You will be this single dot around 99 other dots that won't understand you, that don't want to be you, that will complain about you. And in the end, they'll look up to you and they'll tell everybody about how they knew you from when you were here to how you got here.
Yeah.
And they knew you were going to make it. But in the beginning, they're going to talk so much crap on you, you have no idea.
That's right.
And when you don't settle, I said there's going to be conflict. You know what that means? That means they're no longer going to like you anymore. They don't want to be like you. They don't understand you. I don't want to be understood.
Right.
You know what? That 1%, guess what? Those are the people right now that are having the great lives. Those are the people that don't have to balance their checkbook.
Yep.
Those are the people that don't have to think about when I want to go on a vacation, or how am I going to get there, or what kind of car am I going to buy, or what's the monthly payment. I'm debt free. I just write a check for it. It doesn't matter. You know how you do that? You do that by staying a 1%er. So if you want to do these things, number one, are you a 1%er? Do your behavior, does your attitude, does your habits, does your work ethic, do you look like a 1%er? If you don't, guess what? Start today.
That's right.
Start today. Don't be like everybody else. Listen to me. If you're waiting for other people to approve of you, you're going to stay a loser. You can never, ever ask anybody else's opinion. It's really simple.
That's right.
Look at the people that you want to be like, emulate, model, recreate.
So, through professional sports, then by the age of like 30, we had owned a bunch of different venues in downtown Nashville. It was great, and they were happening spots. We didn't know how to manage the money, but what Rhea and I learned in 2015. So we're big readers as well, and there's a terrible sounding audio book by Earl Nightingale called "The Strangest Secret." That's a follow up to Bob Proctor's "Think and Grow Rich," right? There's an exercise in there about the index card where he says, right, 10 of the easiest things you can do, goals, do them 30 days in a row. And every day if you don't do them, you rip up a card and write another card and start on day one, just like they do in AA and all that other stuff. In 2015, we did that. And Andy, I think it was our 16th card that we were ripping up where we were like, whoa, we're the problem. It's not anybody else or anything else. It's us. In that one little exercise. So we, talking about the commitment you make in the beginning that you did and everything else in 2016, that was when, it may have been 15. It was right at the end of 15 and 16. That was when in our industry, we started crossing state lines for insurance, utilizing internet leads and stuff like that. And that exercise taught us that we made a commitment. Back then, people answered the phone. So 100 dials took 6-7 hours. And, now you can do 3,200 of them in 4 hours, right, through tech. But back then, 100 calls took almost all day because people answered the phone. We made a commitment, 100 calls a day minimum, no matter what. And Christmas Day, New Year's Day, holidays, it didn't matter. We were going to do it. And it was 532 days in a row that we did that we committed to 100 calls a day. If my son had 4 baseball games, she would go to the concession stand, or I'd go to the concession stand. The other one went to the car, sat in the back of the SUV, and started dialing and trying to help folks, right? And the reason it was 532 and not 533 is because behind the scenes, we were marketing our asses off and learning how to leverage social media and all those things. The reason it wasn't 533 is because we looked up and we were both like, holy crap, we didn't do our calls. It was because we were taking incoming calls all day long and freaking killing it, right? So like, there's nothing that your better behavior can't fix, a better mindset can't fix.
Hey, that's it. And by the way, if anybody's listening to this, he just gave the answer to winning, okay? It means this, all right? They weren't who they wanted to be, so they decided to draw a line in the sand. They envisioned their future self. They decided what that person's habits would look like, how many phone calls they would make a day, and then they decided that no matter what happened, baseball game, sun, sleet, rain, snow, they were going to make these dials.
Yep.
And then guess what happened? They did it consistently. You know what there's a shortage of? Consistency and commitment. And you guys stayed consistent. Just like people want to go to the gym and then they stop. You guys decided to stay committed. Guys, you guys quit quitting. You stop coming up with an idea and then 3 weeks later getting off the idea and going chasing something else. I always say the guy that chases 2 rabbits loses both. You decided to chase this rabbit, you decided to chase this game plan, and you decided to do it until it seared it into your brain that this was going to be your new life and your new way of stuff. And by the way, it was weird, both of you not sitting down watching a baseball game and someone else going to the car. That's just weird. Guess what? Crazy people are the only ones who make it.
That's right.
The weird ones are the only ones who make it.
That's right.
I can tell you right now, we're talking to future millionaires all over. And or even billionaires. And the only difference is who's willing to stay crazy.
Yep.
And stay weird.
That's
and
right.
Be different. And I don't want to be sane. I don't want to be civilized. I don't want normality in my life. And guess what? Now, because of that, look up.
Wow. The other thing too is, there's life is always going to happen. There's always going to be things that aren't perfect that go wrong. Nobody's undefeated at anything, including just going through their day without something coming up that shouldn't have, right? What we learned to do is, like, no matter what came our way, is we owned the fault so that we could put in solutions to fix it, right? Because the moment you point your finger out and say it's their fault, then you've given away the ability to fix it. You've given away the responsibility to make it better and what it should be. So that was one of the things that did, and that also showed us that we were dabblers, because it was the things that weren't really, that we shouldn't have been focusing on, that were keeping us from doing the things that we should have been focused on. And I had a mentor that told me that I was trying to do too many things at once, and that none of them were where they should be. And he said, dude, just pick one. Just pick one. You're going all in on too many things. Just pick one and make it amazing, and everything else will follow.
That's it. By the way, hey, everything you just said, have you ever wrote a book, Nick? Have you ever wrote a book yet? It's on my list. Like, it's happening this year. Okay, well, listen, I want to tell everybody, look, I have a book right here, right?
Yes.
Everything you just said, there's a book that I have right here. And if you look at it, I'm pretty crazy, right? So Obviously it's got a guy in a black hoodie. You can't tell who the hell that is. You know who that is? That's you, big dog. That's you right there. But it's called the Book of Deadly Scripts, right?
Yep.
And what I did, I call it a dangerous training manual. And I'm going to tell you this, if anybody's watching this podcast, I can order this book for them if they want it. But here's the deal. We sold 10,000 of these books our first week we dropped it. It's insane.
Incredible.
And here's what I'll tell you. The first part of this book, it goes over exactly how to destroy everybody. The back half, like your people calling insurance, people that are calling on homes, medical, solar. I don't care what you do. Mm-hmm. If you're picking up the phone and dialing, I built all these sales scripts in the back that literally show you how to keep people on the phone, how to make people stay connected to you, and also how to, I say this, communicate, be a master communicator to make people do what it is that you want them to do. Yeah. And if anybody wants this, I can give them a cell phone number. They can text and I can order this for them. Can I give that number? Absolutely. Go for it. Okay, cool. Let me give you guys this number. Just shoot me a text and I'll get you guys set up on this book. But it's 918-210-0254. It's simple. You just shoot me a text and just text, hey, how do I get the book? I'll know exactly what you want, but it's 918-210-0254. And then Nick, I'll send you one of these when we're done. But what I'll tell you is everything you just said, when you got clear, when you had clarity on what it is that you wanted to do, and then you decided to have focus and intensity on that clear motive, dude, it was over, man. Yeah. And you know what? It took a little time. Hey, Brad Lee wrote a book called The Hard Way. It's fantastic. And I want to just share a little part out of the book. He talked about not having patience. Also, I need everybody to understand this. There's two sides to that. If you think today you're going to wake up and be a millionaire, you're an idiot. Okay. But number two, if you think today that if you don't wake up and start changing, that it's never going to happen. You're never going to be a millionaire. Or you're never going to have the lifestyle that you want for your family. I don't care about money. I care about the lifestyle I want to have for my family. That's it. And I want to change other people's lives. That's what I want. I want to have fulfillment in my heart. But I want to say this. In Brad's book, he talked about when he was 2 years old, he ended up drinking something under the sink. It was poison. Turpentine, I think, right? Turpentine, I think. Yeah, turpentine. And he drank it. And they didn't know he drank it. Okay. They just knew that he was laying on the floor, and his dad picked him up and said, holy shit, like something's going on. Yeah. goes to the hospital, and they say, and he busts through the door and he's like, I need somebody to look at my son now. And they said, sir, you got to sit in the lobby. I'm sorry. You have to sit. You have to sit. And he said, if you don't take my son now, I'm going to fucking kick everybody's ass. Sorry for my language.
No worries.
Because I'm going to tear this place to pieces. And you know what? They took his son, and they said that if it had been a minute later, his son would have died and there would be no Bradley.
That's right.
Because his dad decided not to have patience.
Yes.
To go get what it is that he wanted. Guess what? He's alive today.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you this. Your dream, what you want, I'm going to tell you this. And I have a parallel I always use with people. Maybe it's a little too harsh, okay? Because I train kind of like with the intent to get you to either do something or get out of my way.
That's right.
I'll say, hey, Nick, let's just say you're selling cars. I'm going to give you an example. We're just going to say this. You say, hey, Nick's selling 15 cars a month. Nick says he wants to sell 30. I'm giving Nick the information Nick needs to do. And Nick's like, Andy, I don't know. I just can't sell over 15 cars. You know what I'd say? I'd say, hey, Nick, let me ask you a question. You got children? He says, yeah, I got 3 of them. I say, okay, Nick, if I put a gun to your kid's head and I kidnapped him and I said, I'm going to kill all your kids unless you sell 30 cars, could you go to work and sell 30 now? He'd say, hell yeah, I'd sell 30.
That's right.
I said, then why the hell do we got to put your kids up, put a gun to their head and kidnap them for you to go do it?
I ask people all the time, why does it take a heart attack or a stroke to decide to clean up your diet?
Yeah.
You know, like why are we that way? Yes. Why are we that way? I never understand it.
Dude, listen, this is the rule. And by the way, if you're smart and you're listening, okay, people wait for something bad to happen before they live their best life. Don't wait for something bad to happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys,
Thank you.
be grateful, man. Today, if you're alive and you're healthy, man, go to war. Man, recreate, reinvent. And by the way, you say, well, what does that look like? And I could give you some tactical techniques. Wake up at a certain time in the morning, and it's a non-negotiable that you can hit the snooze button.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, get your heart rate moving, work out. After that, come home, eat something healthy for breakfast. After that, and by the way, you say, Andy, listen, you don't understand how busy I am. We all got the same 24 hours, okay? Save it.
Thank you.
All right? Save it, all right? I'm not interested in hearing this, okay? That's an excuse. By the way, again, it's loser dialogue. Okay?
That's right, baby.
Yeah, that's it. By the way, eat something healthy. Andy, it costs more money to eat healthier. Do you know what it costs you? Your life, idiot.
Yeah.
That's what it costs you.
And half your productivity too.
Yeah, and by the way, listen to me. What's your whole goal? To make a bunch of money and then you're going to die so somebody else can come take over your kids and your wife? Yeah. No thanks, man.
That's right. That's right.
Man. And that's it. But I'm talking about maybe exercise, read after that, eat clean, read something for 30 minutes, do some training, get your mind going, and then start your day.
Yes, sir.
God, man. And I don't even know what you do, but if you just did those little tactical things in the morning, number one, you'd go home. Plus, I want to finish something. So during the day, right, make sure you communicate with your wife. Make sure you leave her a love letter once a week and just tell her how much you love her. I know you say, yeah, I don't do that stuff. That's your problem, man.
Right.
That's your problem. Okay. All right. And by the way, write this down. Am I saving special energy for my family? You know, at the end of the day, like we're talking about winning here, but look, dude, you know, losing your family to win your job. I mean, that's not a goal. Okay. That's not even part of the plan. And I think so many people, they're one dimensional. They think they can only have one great thing in life and not all of them. You can be in health. You can take care of your family. You can also make a lot of money. You can be close to God. You can do all these things. Okay. Listen, you can do them all. Look, prioritize. Look, you've got to say no to some things in order to be able to say yes to some things.
Amen.
Okay. We need to stop saying yes to everything. Guys like, hey man, can I have dinner? Can I have you and your family over for dinner on Sunday? I'm like, no, you can't. And I thank you. I love you, but thank you for that. But we can't be there because we've got plans.
That's right.
Listen to me. That's the problem. People just keep saying yes.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you have no life left for yourself.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's right. No, there's two sides to the yes. There's people that say no to everything without even considering it, and then there's people that say yes to just because they don't like conflict or they're weak, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And hey, I want to say something too. If you're a person right now that when something doesn't go right, or when somebody talks about you, or when whatever, if you have time to bicker or complain or cry or be a little whiny baby, okay? And which you don't think you are, because obviously nobody thinks that they're complaining when they are. But I want to say this, you're not filling your day up with enough productive activities. Okay. If you were so busy and your day was, look, busy equals broke, productive equals paid. Okay.
There you go.
With enough productive activities, I'm going to explain something. You wouldn't even have time to hear that person or to talk about complaining with somebody else. And I just want to tell you, the next time you complain, I want you to realize this about anything. Number one, extreme ownership. You said you decided to own everything, every fault. You said you wanted to own it. I read a book by John Wilkins that said extreme ownership, right? That Navy SEALs book, unbelievable. At that day, he's like, you own the wins, you own the loss, you own everything. If a guy goes into war with me, he's on my platoon and he dies, it's my fault.
That's right.
Even if he stepped out of line, it's my fault because I didn't train him. I didn't have his mindset in the right place. I didn't do something right. So I'm going to take responsibility for his life. And how many people would say, well, he didn't do that. And the minute that you give away the power to change something, you blame it on something else, then you stop growing. And I'm going to tell you this, I think if you'll own everything in your life and you'll decide to own these things, you can grow and gain ground like no one else ever could, just because, by the way, you're learning. Right now, you're learning. And by the way, I want to say one thing about learning, okay? Are you listening like for entertainment, or are you listening for like, oh, I heard that, that's cool? Can I ask you a question later on tonight? Could you recite this entire podcast and all the things that were important to you? Not if you don't write it down, because if you only write, you only retain what you write. But secondly, are you consciously paying attention? Listen, they say if you're around 5 crackheads, you'll become the 6th. I agree with that. But if you're around 5 millionaires, they say you'll be the 6th. I don't agree with that.
Right.
Okay. Because you're only going to be the 6th if you consciously are aware of what these billionaires are doing.
Yes.
Okay. Just because you're watching them don't mean you'll become them.
That's right.
You've got to consciously be aware and truly want to emulate them and replace activities that you do with things that they do.
Yep.
In order to do that, you have to change, and nothing changes in your life until you change.
My son, when he was like 4 or 5, he was, and my son is, he's been cast in a Broadway musical. He's done some great things as an entertainer at 12 years old, but he was getting ready to sing in church for like that first time. And I see this in a lot of salespeople, especially when they start, because most salespeople, when they're starting, or even most salespeople, it's like, hey, here's the phone. There's 2 types. One that says, give me the freaking phone, I'm ready to rock and roll. And the one that says, can I just sit back and watch for a while? And I'm like, well, do you learn a bike by watching YouTube videos, or do you get on the bike and fall off and get back up and all that kind of stuff, right? So my son is sitting there, and he's kind of freaking out. He looks out and he sees all these people for the first time. He's like, Dad, I don't think I can do this. And I was like, well, what's up? Are you like shy? And he said, I don't know what that means. And so we looked up what shy meant, and I read it to him, and he said, hey, I'm shy. And I just said, okay, so that means you're selfish, buddy. And my wife didn't know where I was going with that. You could see she was kind of like, what did he just say? So I said, I was like, well, here's what I mean, man. I was like, are you here to sing for all those people out there, or are you here to sing for yourself? And he said, I'm here to sing for all those people out there. And I was like, then why are you making it about you? Like, why are you making it about you?
That's a good point.
Like, how many people don't get somebody's help because they want to watch somebody else make a phone call first?
That's it. Yeah. No, you nailed it, man. And hey, also I want to say something. If you want to be great at something, if you want to be great, repetition is the mother of skill. Okay. And by the way, at the end of the day, remember we talked about mindset. Look, if you let someone else get in your head and they take up space in your head, you can't do your job. I mean, you can't live your life. And I always say that never let somebody else take up shop or take up space in your own head. Okay. Hey, my goal is to take up space in your head. Okay. That's right. My goal.
That's right.
My competition every day, I'm trying to figure out how to make them go to bed at night thinking about me. Damn, that guy out there, he did it again. I'm like, gotcha. Okay, so my goal is to get in your head, not for you to get in my head. Okay?
Yeah.
I went through 2 years of hard David Goggins grind about 3 years ago during COVID. When COVID first hit, I used to watch David Goggins every day, all day long. And what I mean by that is we would work and we'd have David Goggins playing on all the monitors in our conference room.
Yep.
And I would hear him speaking, talking about, like, if you want to win, right? Like, you've got to not care what other people think about you. Like, you can't care.
That's right.
Okay. And that was something that was hard for me to do because I always wanted to have other people say good things about me and to be loving and to be kind. But when you go to win, look, winning's ugly. Okay. It really is. Winning is hard, and if you don't do what it is that you need to do, regardless of what anybody else thinks, winning won't recognize you. It will leave you
Yeah.
because you don't deserve to win. Okay.
That's right.
So guess what? That's what I'll tell you is winning recognize you? Are you doing what seduces winning, which is stay in your lane, know what you wrote down the night before that you were going to do, make it happen, do it with everything you got. Don't just do it like, if I do this, I get this. No, do it with passion. Like you want to be the best at it in the world. And by the way, if you are undeniably the best at what you do, you will never worry about money again. So here's some advice. Whatever it is that you do, be so good at it, right? That like no one else can come in and kick your ass. You're kicking everybody else's ass. And then, number two, I would tell you this, man, be so good at what you do that you can teach it to somebody else, man. I mean, know your industry and study it every day.
Yep.
Study it every day. Study anything and everything that can affect your industry in every single way. Not so that you can overthink it, but so that you're aware and that you're ahead of everybody else.
Man.
And those are things that people don't think about. And always try to figure out how to kick your own ass. Don't ever let anybody else come kick your ass.
Absolutely.
Know your business better than anybody. So whatever you do, know it the best and study it night and day.
Yes.
Okay? Don't play checkers, play chess.
In sports, we used to say that all the time. It's just, you build a team, you build all these, all this discipline, all these things, and it's like, it doesn't matter what the other team's doing. We got to do what we do the best that we can, and it doesn't matter. They're not going to change that. We do what we do. We've built it to function a certain way, to perform a certain way, and this is what this is our game plan, and we're going to go out and execute our game plan no matter what they do. Yeah,
that's it. And by the way, who gets to play the game? Whoever's putting up the numbers. I mean, look, if you're a baseball coach and you have a baseball team, and let's say everybody's batting at a certain average, but you bring a new guy on in the company, but he has a higher batting average than everybody else. I'm sorry, he gets to play. Am I right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I want everybody to know, that number one, if you're writing notes, time and experience means nothing.
Thank you. The last job I turned down, I knew a guy that was there, and I just asked the guy that was offering me a job. He offered me like $150,000, right? So to most people would be like, that's a lot of money, and it's not. And so I was like, so if I outperform Chris, do I get paid more money? And he said, no, he's been here longer than you. And I was like, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. So you guys are big into in fitness, right? And you've mentioned consistency over and over and over again, and how important that is, right? So intensity is also important, but you got to have both. You can't and consistency usually beats intensity, right? Over the long game. So it'd be like brushing your teeth for 2 hours and then not brushing it for a long time, or brushing it for 20 minutes or 2 minutes every day. The consistency is always going to win, right? So when building a business, what's your take on that? Because it's super important.
Well, so number one, and by the way, our company has nothing to do with fitness.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But I wanted to say this because we have a huge sales training company, and all the people that work for me, I believe in raising the standards. We believe that the people that work with us should believe what we believe, and we believe what they believe. Look, when we hire people, we hire people off of heart, and we hire people off of attitude. So when you talked about building a business, okay, the Wright brothers, they flew the first plane. Okay. Look, there was another guy that most people don't know. When we talked about building the airplane, who flew the first plane? Well, the government gave another guy $100,000. They gave him the best technicians. They gave him the best, they gave him the best of everything. The media crews followed him around with cameras every day as he's trying to fly this plane because he was the guy. But that guy hired people for paychecks, which means like, oh, are you good at that? Then you're my guy. They were working for checks, not working for blood, sweat, and tears. And a lot of businesses are built off checks. Who can I pay the most to do the job the most? So everybody's there for a check, and nobody believes in the company. And by the way, the second the checks stop coming, everybody's gone.
Yep.
Okay. Well, guess what? I wanted to do what the Wright brothers did. Okay. We started out, just like them, they had bicycle parts, right? They went out, they had a bicycle shop. They went out, they would build this plane after hours. The people that would show up and help them fix the plane with these parts were people that believed what the Wright brothers believed, that they could be the first to fly that plane. And if they could change the way that the industry went forever on transportation. And they were passionate about it. They worked like without money. Dude, there was no money to pay these people.
That's right.
But guess what? They were the first to fly the plane. They flew the plane 3 days before anybody even knew they flew it. There was no camera around the first time they took flight.
Incredible.
They did it on their own, and they celebrated out in that field together. And that's how me and my company started. And literally today, our company made about 40 million last year. We'll make 100 million this year. And you know what? Here's the cool thing is it could be anybody, but you got to be a leader. A leader, you know what a leader does? A leader is the first foot on the ground. It's the last foot to leave. You know what a leader is? I go out now in my company. I make sales calls with my guys all day long. You know why? Because they need me. My team feels powerful when they're next to me.
Yep.
That's it. And I'm training them every day. This is a conversation, Nick. If you were in the sales meeting this morning, I have the same sales meeting. Guys, if I died today, are we good?
Yeah.
Are we good? You guys are we okay? Are you guys got me? Mm-hmm. Are you guys going to become 10 times better than me? I need you to. Can I ask you? And by the way, when I hire somebody, Nick, you know what a question I ask is, which some of you may think is a little crazy, but I'll say, hey, Nick, let me ask you a question. Where do you see yourself in 15 years from now?
Yeah.
And if Nick's like, well, I want to own my own restaurant. Nick, you're not for me. I'm not going to let you come into my business, look under my skirt, teach you everything I know, give you my life, put you in the inner circle. And then guess what? You're going to be gone somewhere else later down the road. No,
That's
thank
right.
you. Love you, man. Great meeting you, but you're not for me. If a guy's like, listen to me, Andy, if I can get a job with you, which isn't a job, it's a lifestyle, it's a career, it's a brotherhood, it's everything you want to call it. I'm going to work with you till I die.
Yep.
I'm like, you're hired. That's what I want.
Yep.
So I don't want to restart over in 2 years from now. Does that mean 3 years from now, I don't have a guy quit and leave and go somewhere else? Man, if I do my job right, it's really hard for that to happen. Okay. I know how the best of the businesses operate in the world out there. They're all about paying people for checks, and that's it. Yeah. The people that are around me, and by the way, I hire underdogs. So if a guy comes to me, Nick, and he's like, hey, I'm a trainer for 20 years. I worked for John Maxwell and the best of the best. I'm like, dude, you're not for us. You're not one of us. I mean, I love you. Good job, but you're not one of us.
That's right.
You know, I want a guy that's been broken, that's built his way up, that's fought through adversity. That's like, hey, man, I want to fight with people that literally are want to be the best, but I don't have to have any titles or, diplomas or anything like that. And by the way, loyalty and trust, you find that in these people.
They got it. Yeah, that's right. You got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired to truly make some change, man. Like that, you got to hit that. You got to hit that wall. And you mentioned the fear of that one moment or that one time in life that you were running from all the time. That was for my wife and I. It was 2013. That's what drives me every single day. I remember what that feels like, and I'm freaking I'm getting as far away from it as I can because it drives the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like I can't have it.
It makes you make your next move now.
Absolutely.
Instead of later. Hey, I'm going to tell you something, right? Like you said, Andy, writing that book's on the list. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. You already know what you want your book to be like. Mm-hmm. You know what? You could write it in 2 days. Mm-hmm. You could write it in 2 days, Nick. And guess what? The best books that are written are the ones that were wrote in 2 days.
Yep.
You know why? Because they're the truth.
Yep.
They're not made up and fake, full of bullshit.
That's right.
Okay. They're real. And I'm going to tell you this, man. Grant Cardone's 10X book that I read when I was younger, I remember. He said he wrote that book in 3 hours. Yeah. You know what? It looks like he wrote it in 3 hours.
Yeah.
But you know what? He just talked about most people underestimate the amount of effort that it takes to win and the amount of action that it takes to win. And I'm just going to tell you, man, it was a great book. It was probably one of the best reads ever. And it took 2 hours for him to write it. So all I'm going to say is, Nick, you don't need to plan this out. And everybody's going to tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that. You got to have this, you got to get that. Hey, listen to me. Write the book. Everybody needs to know what's in it. They want to do what it is that you want them to do. Write it out there, help change some people's lives. The sooner we get it out there, the sooner they'll start winning.
That's right. That's right.
Just write it.
You doing, I got a couple more questions for you for sure. You okay on time?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm done when you're done. So let's go.
Perfect, my man. So one of the questions that I have here is, what do you think? I already know what the answer is, but let's educate the folks. Are the best salespeople born that way, or did they read your book?
Well, number one, they're made. Okay, listen.
Yep.
The gift of gab. Look, I'm going to ask you a question. All right. I mean, think about this. Picture a sales guy on the phone or a sales guy in person, or anytime that you've been sold. You said yes when two things happened. One, logically, what they said made sense. And then number two, when your gut feeling that you were dealing with the right person, right? You felt like in your gut, this was the person you should do business with. Mm-hmm. Two things happened. Well, I'm going to tell you this. That's a learned skill for both those things to happen. Okay. Yep. So the guy with the gift of gab that thinks he knows how to speak, he overspeaks, oversells, and 70% of his language don't make sense. And the 30% that does, the 70% ruined it because he wasn't deadly with the good shit that he said. Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Number one, you need to be so good at what you do. You make your competition look like amateur. It's amateur hour everywhere in the world. So I'm going to say this. Train. The best salespeople are made. They're not born. I stuttered. I didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know dialogue. I didn't know, anything. I know nothing. But you start learning from sales training from people that can teach you how to be great at selling, which you're going to need, because you're going to sell people on your dreams. You're going to sell your product, your services. You're going to sell yourself. You're going to sell everything. But listen, made, definitely. People say I've got the gift of gab. I murder those guys all the time, man. You know why? They overspeak, they overtalk, and 80% of the time you should be listening, 20% of the time speaking. When you speak, you should be like a sniper.
Yes.
Your words are strong, they're powerful, and they move people forward in the direction you want them to go, which is what closers do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you this, and closers get people to agree with them.
Yeah.
And if you don't train, you're not going to get anybody to agree with you because you're not going to be deadly. And anyway, so definitely made, 100% sure.
Simon Sinek says that the most powerful person in the room is the one that speaks last.
That's it. Everybody respects that person because when they do say something, they have something to say.
Yeah, that's right. Okay? That's right.
So think about that. Yeah. And by the way, look, man, if I do speak a lot, it's because I'm wanting you to know that I'm the trusted advisor and I'm the expert. And I know that what it is that I am saying are things that you're interested in hearing based off what you've already said.
Man, that's absolutely right. And leaders, real leaders, identify themselves, right? They identify themselves.
Yeah. And by the way, a real leader doesn't even need to tell you he's a leader.
That's right.
Okay. He walks like he runs a company, talks like he runs a company, acts like he runs a company. You already know who the person is that runs a company. And the title means nothing.
That's right.
But by the way, who's a leader? Everybody.
I do believe leadership is if you took your kid to get an ice cream cone because somebody else said it was good, they led you there.
Yeah, dude, listen, and that's what I want to tell everybody, that look, leaders make leaders. Like if you're watching this podcast right now, you're not a follower. When we say follow us, that means let us lead you to become a better leader.
Well, so that was the first the greatest leaders were, I guess, follower is not the right word, but I mean even Jesus Christ himself had disciples that he said go lead. Right.
Yeah.
But they followed first, right? So the greatest leaders were followers, the great followers first, I guess, but not the type of follower that there's two sides, right?
Yeah. Well, what you're saying is that, look, great leaders take their own advice. They don't just give it, they take it.
There you go.
And I always tell people that, look, they were following Jesus to become like him, Christ-like,
yes,
and then show other people how to become Christ-like. So they were followers themselves because they were leaders. They were following a better leader. And that's what leaders do. Leaders get to surround themselves in location and proximity with better leaders so that they can be a better leader. So anybody watching this is a leader, clearly, and your goal is to every day to become a better leader so you can create more leaders underneath you. That's right.
Yeah. And in the business world, if you've always been a low paid employee, there's Brad he told me something one time. He's like, only people that are broke villainize money, right? The only people that don't have money talk bad about it, and people that have never been successful always talk trash about sales. You know what I'm saying? So, but every business is in the business of sales, period, because that's the only way you generate revenue, which generates the money, right? So, like, why do you think it is that so many people will come in office all the time? I don't know if I want to be in sales. I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
Well, number one, you're going to sell yourself your entire life. You're going to sell your wife every day to stay in love with you. You're going to sell your children every single day to look at you as their hero, not just their father. Because by the way, your kids don't get to choose. I mean, by the way, your kids do get to choose whether you're their hero or not. Okay, I'm my kid's hero. Not because I said I am, and not because I can make them. I have sold my children on what it looks like to be a great man, and what that looks like. They bought into it. They believe it. And I'm their hero because I've sold them on it. And I needed to sell them on it because I want generational influence, and I want my children to be like me and not to be like dead Bob across the street sitting on his ass.
Preach it,
okay,
bro.
Playing Nintendo games. Okay. So I'm selling my children. By the way, on top of that, I sell them to go to bed at night every time.
That's right.
Okay. Hey, I literally, when I say this, like, if you don't think you're in sales, you know why you didn't get that job that pays all the money? Because you didn't sell them on you were the person to give you the job.
That's right.
Okay. You say, well, it's just not fair. I just don't make, Debbie got the job. Debbie got the job because you don't know how to sell. All right. If you didn't know how to sell, they gave you the job. You wouldn't even have to sell anything in your job, but you needed to sell them on giving you that job. But you didn't like to sell. So you stayed broke.
Amen. All right. Andy, how do you triple your income as a salesperson quickly?
Well, number one, if you want to do it fast, number one, you train. But number two, I'm going to say this is real easy. And I'm going to give you 365 days to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it. You take 4% of your day, which is 1 hour. Look, if you don't have 4% of your day to invest in becoming the best in the world, you're not going to do it. So how do you do it and triple your sales fast? Number one, invest 4% of your day, which is 1 hour. And you do it to one thing specifically. Number one, you learn how to speak. This is the fastest way to become the best in the world at selling. Learn how to speak. And I'm going to explain to you how to learn how to speak. So if I'm calling somebody on the phone, right? And I'm just going to give an example. I'm calling a dealership, or I'm a dealership. I'm calling a customer that bought a previous vehicle, right? Most people like, hey, this is Andy over here at ABC Toyota. I wanted to click. It's gone. They're done. No, that's it. So, but if I called you, I'm like, hey, let's say it's you, Nick. Hey, Nick, what's going on? It's Andy down here at ABC Motors. I was reviewing your account. This is where you purchased your last vehicle from. I need 30 seconds of your time. It's extremely important. Can I get 30 seconds, Nick?
That's it, baby. That's it.
Boom. Okay, look, number one, learn how to speak so you can speak like you got something to say. Yep. So I want to listen. Guess what? If you don't learn how to speak, can I ask a question? Everybody listening to this right now, are you a public speaker? Yes or no? The answer is yes, you are. Whether you speak to one person or 10,000, people have to want to listen to you when you speak. So learn how to speak. How do you do it? Well, get around people that speak good and go to an event or train on a training course with people who will teach it to you. So I'm just telling you, learn how to speak. So what we do, like in this book, this Deadly Scripts book, it comes with a video that we send to people when they get them. So they can say, hey, what's going on? It's Andy down here at ABC Motors where you purchased your last vehicle from. I was reviewing your account. Now I intrigued you with the account. You're like, what account? And I'm like, I need 30 seconds of your time. It's not going to take that long is what they're thinking because 30 seconds, it's extremely important. If I say it's important, they're going to be like, dude, well, what is it? Can I get 30 seconds? Yeah. Boom. I get the yes out of you. Now I say, hey, number one, do you still have the 2018 Toyota Corolla you bought from us in 2019? Do you still got it? Yeah, I got it. Cool. Well, the second part, my general manager wanted me to personally reach out to you. And if you said yes to that, he wanted me to ask you this question. And boom, man, I just go right into it. I pull the people in. I get what it is that I want. And I got it all by what? Number one, knowing what the hell it is that I was going to say before I said it. And then number two, being good at speaking.
That's right.
And I'm going to tell you this. People use scripts, which I love. But you learn the script so well that you don't have the script. Now, why do I have something in front of me when I'm speaking if I was going to be on the phone? For one reason, so I don't get off track.
Yep.
Look, you always got to stay on track, okay? Because I'm going to tell you this. Every day, the most important thing that you could do to yourself is to remind yourself what made you successful yesterday. Okay? Don't try to reinvent it the next day. I got a guy that comes in and puts up 100 grand in revenue today. And then tomorrow he comes in and he's confused. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, what did you do yesterday? How were you talking yesterday? What did you say yesterday? How did you say it? Did you have passion behind your words yesterday and today? They're just dead words like dead Bob. I mean, listen, something's missing. Okay. Repeat.
That's right. Derek Jeter said success is so important because you can always draw on it. You can always draw from it for the next battle, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, dude, if you did it yesterday, you can do it again today.
That's right.
And, so I just want to say that the fastest way to triple your income is going to be to dedicate time to getting better, to self-improving. Take 4% of your day. It's 1 hour. Here's what I'll tell you. If you did it every day for 1 hour for 365 days, you'd get better for 365 days. Well, I can tell you this. If another person said, well, I'm going to do it once a week. Well, if you got better once a week, that's 52 times in a year. It'd take you 7 years to get as good as the guy that took him 1 year because he trained for 365 days.
Yeah.
What about the person that only trains once a month? It takes them 20 years.
That's right.
To get as good as the person that got in 1 year. It's called the compound effect.
Yes.
And anybody that doesn't understand compound, doesn't understand money.
That's right.
They don't understand anything. Okay.
That's right.
If you show your wife massive love every day, she's going to love you every single day. And she's going to fall more in love with you every day. You know why people fall out of love? Because whatever you put into something is what you get out of it. What's the biggest investment you could ever make in your life? It's you. Because you're the reason why things will or won't happen. It won't even be because of a house or because of anything. It will be because of you. The cool thing is, Nick, if you invest in yourself right now, if something happened and you went back to zero, I mean, listen, it scares you to death, but if you did, you know what it takes.
That's right.
So you could start back over today and nobody can take that away from you. Business partner rips out the rug, something happens in the market, something happens. Listen, you're the investment.
That's right. Well, that's how you know you are where you need to be, is because that you're not scared to lose it, right? Because that fear's gone, right? But at the same time, we said we go to that time when we had nothing, and we're getting as far away from it as we can. But at the same time, we know that it won't happen. We're not going to lose everything. But if we did, dude, it's so easy. Absolutely. That's right.
And you're ready to go to war.
That's right.
That's what it takes. Okay. Like, I'm ready. And by the way, that's what still keeps you sharp and keeps your edge, because, Bradley always talks about branding yourself. You're the brand. You talked about you like branding yourself. You're the brand. Yeah. What you know and all that stuff, but you're the brand. Like, you don't have to make up content. You are the content.
That's right.
You've created yourself to be an animal, to be a beast, to be a savage. You've created yourself in your own brand, and you onboard people every day.
That's
with
right.
Everything you've learned your whole life, because you act that way. You are that way. And people are like, dude, I want to be like that. Good. Then get in a close proximity to me, be around me, and that infectiousness will get in you, and you will be that way.
That's right.
And hopefully better.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So there we go, man. I mean, dude, if anybody's paying attention today, I'm just going to tell you, I mean, at all, if they're consciously paying attention, I mean, they could go to war right now and go kick ass, and they have all the answers to the test.
That's right.
They just got to take action.
That's right. So let's make sure that everybody knows. You guys have been killing it for quite some time, but as far as if you just look across all the social media platforms, you're literally blowing up like at an unprecedented speed. It's freaking so cool to watch, man. So let's make sure everybody knows where to find you, because you got the book. You got the sales training, right? Let's make sure everybody knows how to get into that.
If somebody wants to level up on sales training, and I don't care what industry you're in, okay? If you want to, just text that 918-210-0254 and just say, hey, Andy, I sell mattresses. I don't care, or I don't sell anything, but I just want to learn how to speak better, or I want to grow a business, and that's fine. Like, just text me, and then number one, I'll reach out to you and I'll handle it with you. That's easy. But a second thing, if you're on Instagram, it's official Andy Elliott. 2 L's, 2 T's on Elliott. But it's just official Andy Elliott. It's easy. And on Facebook, I'm Andy Elliott. And
your TikTok is phenomenal, bro.
Yeah. See, and the cool thing about it is that, look, everybody right now, everybody that's watching this or listening to this, all they got to do is just start.
Yep.
And by the way, there is a way that you can start, that you can actually, like I said, compress timeframes and look up, and in 90 days, you can already be going everywhere.
That's right.
Social media gives you that right now. And a lot of people just don't know where to start. So I have a course on my training program. It's called the Branding and Marketing course. And if they text me, I can set them up on it. But literally, we're watching people going from making 10 grand a month to going from 30 to 50 grand a month, just by learning. Like I said in the beginning, people need to know who you are, what you do, how great you are at what you do and where you're at. Like, how do they find you?
Yes.
Right. Like, and by the way, does your face stand out in the crowd?
Yeah.
It needs to. It needs to, and it can. Nick, you probably walk somewhere, everybody's like, oh man, I know that guy. It's like, oh, I remember you, or you're that person. That's who you need to be. And guess what? That right there, it's priceless. Nobody can ever take that away from you. But that's one of the things that's very important. But listen to me, you got to be really good at what you do. You have to be undeniably the best, which is why I was going to say that's where the training part comes in. Because what if everybody know who you was, and then Nick, I reach out to you and I can't even have a conversation with you, or because you're not really who you said you were, you're not the best.
That's right.
Right. I mean, so you got to train to become the best. And I really believe, I said this, that time and experience doesn't mean anything, because right now, most people aren't every day trying to get better. So if you went all in on yourself for even 30 days, you would realize that you would be like tripling your results in your company. And also that would carry into you going home as well. So your wife, when you walk through the door, she's like, oh my God, man, he's on fire, or she's on fire, or your husband will think, because you actually look like, by the way, progress creates growth. Progress is all you need in your life. Everybody's gonna escalate up.
I love that.
You've got to have progress. So, but they can find me on official Andy Elliott. They can text me, and I'm grateful. And you're a badass. And obviously, if they're here and they're taking the time and they've made it this far on the podcast, to me, they're the true 1%ers.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's we were talking about how great Bradley's Lightspeed is, and what it can do in virtual training and all those things. I use, for me, I figured out what books I wanted to read by the social media stuff that I saw, and that also helped me. Like if I wanted to seek any additional education or training, and who I went with and how I got it, because the internet is so big and it's so spread out. Everything's so spread out. The beautiful thing about those courses and what you can provide is it gives them like that segmented curriculum that everybody needs, so it's in the right order, and it's manageable, because it is. You can take in too much information. Troy McQuaig told me one time, he's like, Nick, you gotta take a little time in between your books to just make sure you process what you read before you get to go on to that next one, so you get out of it what you need to get out of it, type thing.
Yeah, and I want to say that, because we're in the same age. You're 41, I'm 42. I remember back when I was 18 years old, or even 25 years old, like if we wanted to learn something, like you had to pick up a book, and you had to read 400 pages of a book to find the 13 pages that had the content in it that was actually going to help you grow. Now you can go to the internet. You guys are totally cheating. This isn't even fair.
That's right.
Okay. Because if you wanted to know how to kick our ass and really do what it is that, you want to do, or be better than us, I mean, it's really easy. Number one, you study us till you're better than us. And then number two, you take every training course, everything out there that if somebody out there, my mentors in life are people that have gone where I want to go. So if I'm like, hey, Nick, I want to go where you're at, I'm just going to study Nick. Like, that's it. Like, I will obsessively study you all day, every day, what you do, what you eat, how you operate, how you act, how you treat your family, all the content. Look, if it cost me 20 grand to learn all the content that I'm going to learn all of it. I'll give you the 20 grand because I'm after 20 million.
That's right.
And I'm just telling you, like it's that easy.
That's
it. But people, they want a complicated life. I get it. I know. You want it to be harder than that. Guys, it's that easy. And then, by the way, once you learn Nick, like you physically know Nick better than Nick knows himself, then you go and learn someone else. And then if Nick even gets better, then I come back to Nick.
That's right.
And I'm like, oh, Nick, you son of a bitch, you got better on me now, huh? You're trying to level up on me? Okay, got to learn this new stuff you got. You got a new course out? And I take it. And that's it. And then all of a sudden, man, you're the top. You're killing it. We helped you get there. You're helping others get there now. And it's over, man.
That's fantastic. Well, they got to. They should be following you if they're not already, just because the content is gold. Hold up that book one more time.
Right here,
folks. Whether you think you need to be in sales or not, you need to check it out, because you're all selling regardless of what you think, right? You're all doing it. So check it out. It's fantastic. I've got an unbelievable group of folks that we're a group in the office today, and I'm going to make sure before I'm done, I got to get them a copy of that book. That absolutely.
Yeah, and on the beginning of this book, I'll just tell you this, but it says, triple your sales overnight, script so strong, you'll never get a rebuttal, become dangerous at speaking on the phone, be 10 steps ahead of every customer at all times, and how to handle any objection on the phone. You know what I mean? It's how to cold call any customer and make them a high-end market buyer. I don't care who you thought you were. I'm going to create you to be in the market when I call you, because I'm going to make that happen. And these are things that you need to learn. And if somebody's got something out there that you're thinking, hey man, I might need to know that, then you get it, you study it, and guess what? You got it.
That's right.
I mean, that's it. By the way, this isn't a book. This is a workbook.
That's right.
This is like grab a highlighter, a pen, and piece of paper, right? And tear it up. Like tear it up. Like if somebody's got a nice clean book sitting on the shelf, I'm like, you didn't even read it. I got ADD. I got to tear this thing to pieces.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like underline it, highlight it, flip the pages, write it on a notebook on the side. I mean, dissect the sucker. It's just so you can take it and become it. But much love, Nick. I appreciate you, man. By the way, everybody watching, I know your time's valuable, so we're grateful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Andy, thanks so much for hanging with us today, brother. It was an absolute pleasure to have you, man. It's again, I told him you're a superhero that's just not wearing the cape, man, changing lives one at a time, but by the freaking hundreds a day, right? Hell, by the thousands, I guess. And you'll be at, like you said, with the millions. You got a lot of cool stuff coming out. I don't know if you can talk about that or not, that you guys are doing in the financial space and the insurance space, right? So
yeah, we're partner up with Real Financial. We're kicking ass. We're going to destroy it. And I know everybody out there. Brad Lee, he believes in getting people out of the rat race. So he literally has a program right now where he pays for your insurance license. I mean, to sell insurance. If you're a normal 9-to-5 person and you decide you want to do it, he'll pay for you to get your insurance. And you take the test, you pass it, and you go to work.
That's right.
I mean, and by the way, I just want to tell you, there's no excuses. There's nothing that can stop you but you.
That's right.
And that's it. So if you want to do it, I just want to tell you, follow us, and take a little time and decide, do I want to do that or do I want to do this? But whatever it is that you do, just do it all the way. Don't let anybody else be better than what you do. And that's it. And by the way, die with no regrets. Okay. Don't wait till tomorrow to start. Start today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Just start today. That's
fantastic. That is an unbelievable way to bring it to a close right there, baby. So, folks, Andy Elliott from the Elliott Group, the official Andy Elliott on Instagram. It's the same on TikTok as well. Check him out on YouTube, Facebook, all of them. 10,000 copies of that book in the first week. That's unreal, baby.
First week. And by the way, on YouTube, if you want to look, let's say you're dead broken on E, and you're like, man, I can't buy a training program. I can't do anything. Listen, go to YouTube, type in Andy Elliott, and I've got 600 training videos on there.
Amazing.
I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. It costs you a little sweat equity.
That's right. And that's some of the best kind, isn't it? That's some of the best kind. Absolutely.
That's it.
Well, folks, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Hit Streak. I am your man, Nick Hyder. God bless.